The Kirk family's legal war is tearing through Hollywood, shaking late-night TV and even putting Disney on edge. But this is just the beginning. And what comes next could rewrite the future of comedy forever. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next chapter in this unfolding battle.
Think these talking points, her attitude is because they don't want to take accountability, because they know networks like CNN are the ones saying all this stuff, the fascists, the dog whistle, the rallying the troops, so to speak, that do stuff like this. So is she saying it because she's getting orders from the top to say this, because she can't
Charlie
admit—
Kirk's widow isn't just grieving, she's fighting back. And the battle she's ignited could shake Hollywood and corporate America at their very core. This isn't a quiet morning behind closed doors. No, this is public, loud, and ruthless. The Kirk family is turning tragedy into a legal crusade aiming directly at the powerful media empires that mocked Kirk's death and turned it into a joke. Names like TMZ and ABC are already in the crosshairs. The lawsuits are massive, worth millions. And they're designed to send one unmistakable message. Grief can be weaponized, and revenge has a price tag.
The fallout from Charlie Kirk's has spread to the workplace. People are getting fired for comments that seem to celebrate or glorify the assassination of the MAGA activist and father of two young children.
But money isn't the only cost here. The humiliation went far deeper than just TV segments. The smirks, the fake apologies, the cruel punchlines, every one of them is now evidence neatly stacked in legal filings. Publicly humiliated isn't just an emotional phrase anymore. In the courts, it's a lethal weapon. Every laugh track, every headline, every tasteless meme has become a torpedo, locked on the reputations of the people who thought they were untouchable. Careers aren't just being threatened. They're being dismantled piece by piece.
You have to make this good. I'm one that actually watched some of the stuff that you've done over the years, and it's actually good.
I agree.
For you to defend and lie about what they reacted to, you lost so much credibility with me. So much credibility with me for you to behave that way.
This fight is bigger than one man's memory. It's about exposing the hypocrisy at the top of the media ladder. For years, late-night hosts and pundits claimed to be the gatekeepers of morality, scolding others for crossing lines. Yet when Kirk's tragedy struck, they crossed every boundary themselves. Now those sound bites are resurfacing, not as jokes, but as courtroom evidence. Each cruel punchline has become proof of negligence and malice. The irony couldn't be sharper. The same companies that boasted about virtue are now accused of violating it in the ugliest way possible.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points.
And the fallout doesn't stop there. This legal storm is spreading beyond television. Streaming giants, podcast networks, and even independent creators are watching the Kirk case unfold with growing fear. What once seemed like harmless, edgy comedy now looks like a career-ending liability. Suddenly, every script meeting has turned into a legal briefing. Producers are whispering less about pushing the limits and more about covering our tracks. And the biggest question is hanging in the air: who's next?
And then we installed the most beautiful chandelier. Sconces, you wouldn't believe. There's something wrong with them. There really is. I mean,
some comedians are already changing their tune. Once proud to call themselves uncancelable, they're now rethinking everything. Because the truth is, being bold isn't just about cracking jokes anymore. It's about calculating whether those jokes could destroy everything you've built. The risk of a single bad punchline has never been higher. A viral clip that once made you famous could now drag you into court. And for the first time, comedians aren't laughing at the possibility. They're terrified.
Honestly, I mean, look, Jimmy Kimmel can be funny, and I don't mean to take anything away from that. But the fact of the matter, can you remember a political joke that went viral, what was something really funny of his? There was no attempt in humor at all in what he said.
But here's where things get even darker. By muzzling mainstream comedy, the industry might be creating a monster it can't control. When satire gets forced underground, it doesn't die, it festers. Smaller creators are already branding themselves as the last free voices of comedy, and audiences are listening. The new formula. Outrage, raw anger, and zero filters instead of polished punchlines. It's unrestrained fury instead of satire. It's war. And the danger is that audiences, tired of safe comedy, will flock toward this chaos, making the landscape more toxic than ever before.
Do it because I think there's an irony here. My take on this, there's an irony. Harvey has made his career on busting celebrities that lie when they're arrested, and then this video, this person, that person, and then they bust them. They go, no. Here's what really happened.
That's right.
And now Harvey's in the middle of it, right there, busted, and sitting there in front of the spotlight, the same way he puts celebrities and other people in front of the spotlight.
And yet there's a strange hope hidden inside this collapse. Some believe this pressure might spark a reinvention of comedy. Smarter, sharper formats could rise, ones that cut deep without leaning on cruelty. But reinvention comes with risk. The safety net of tradition is gone, and comedians who can't adapt won't just lose relevance, they'll vanish completely. The future of late night, of satire, maybe even of comedy itself, hangs in the balance.
They don't need a reason to fire you if you're an at-will employee, which most workers in the U.S. are at-will contracts. So they can fire you because you wore green instead of blue one day. It doesn't matter. Really, what the leader's job at these private employers is to identify the workers who are aligned with the culture that they're trying to cultivate, the strategy that they have to achieve their results towards their...
Which leads us to the ultimate question. Are we watching the slow death of political comedy? Some experts say yes. The lawsuits alone could end the anything goes era forever, forcing writers to churn out sanitized scripts that please lawyers rather than audiences. But others argue we're just witnessing an evolution, one where the old guard collapses and something raw, unpredictable, and maybe even more dangerous takes its place. Either way, one truth is undeniable. Comedy will never go back to what it was before. The ground has shifted, and there's no turning back.
An ex-employee claims, these are claims all over that I saw on X, that the newsroom was filled with hateful, angry, progressive energy, and he said it would, without question, laugh at Charlie Kirk getting shot. Shame on them. Shame.
For decades, late-night television thrived on risk. But that risk always had an invisible safety net. The comfort that no matter how edgy or offensive the joke, the audience would ultimately forgive. Today, that safety net is gone. What was once forgiven as just comedy is now dissected under a microscope, replayed millions of times on social media, and weaponized as evidence in lawsuits. Every smirk, every sarcastic jab now carries a price tag. And for some, the cost is their entire career.
They're watching the car chase.
So, yeah.
The announcer announces Charlie Kirk's, and it seems like in all likelihood, that's when they cheer.
You tell me
There's
what
nothing excitable
while
going
that
on there.
second the car
This
chase.
isn't O.J. Simpson and the White Bronco.
Exactly.
Pat, that, I'm sorry, that, the first of all, disgusting of who they are. What's
Not just comedians who are nervous, it's the corporations behind them, executives who once celebrated controversy as free publicity are suddenly panicking. They see what happened to Kirk's legacy, and they don't want their brand dragged into the same storm. In boardrooms, words like satire and free speech have been replaced by liability and risk assessment. When lawyers start calling the shots, creativity suffocates, and the shows that built their reputation on boldness are now walking on eggshells.
This is Harvey, who runs TMZ. It's a place known, I've been inside that place. It's a place that's known for having cameras everywhere. That's what you're known for. You're talking live all the time, right? Yeah. That's what TMZ is known for. You have cameras everywhere. That's your business model. That's how you blew up.
I was with you in every corner of every room. They capture every reaction.
You remember that.
But here's the irony: in trying to avoid lawsuits, these networks may be accelerating their own downfall. Safe comedy doesn't sell. Audiences don't tune in for watered-down punchlines or predictable monologues. The same executives who fear controversy are discovering that without it, their ratings are collapsing. And once the viewers leave, advertisers follow. It's a death spiral where the attempt to protect the brand ends up destroying it.
You know, TMZ comes out and everybody around the world finds out when the phone alert Charlie Kirk is, right? Your phone is blowing up. No matter where you are, your phone is blowing up with text messages saying Charlie Kirk is.
Meanwhile, in the shadows, a new wave of creators is rising. They don't have corporate lawyers, they don't have polished studios, and they don't have filters. What they do have is the internet and an audience starving for something real. These digital rebels are already winning over millions with raw, unpolished content that feels more authentic than anything late night can offer. And every lawsuit against mainstream comedy only makes these outsiders look braver, edgier, and more appealing.
And I think Obama's lying about saying, oh, I really didn't know him. You know exactly who.
This is the paradox. The very effort to silence dangerous comedy may end up making it louder than ever. A crackdown on mainstream satire is driving viewers toward platforms where nothing is off limits. And once audiences develop a taste for that kind of unfiltered chaos, there's no pulling them back to the safe scripted jokes of network television. In trying to control comedy, the industry may have lost control completely.
So for someone, and look at just the blatant lie, like he's like, I didn't know him well, but he just went through a list of 5 things in order, in depth, about what he said and what he feels and his points of view. So I don't buy none of that. They know exactly who the hell Charlie Kirk was because his voice.
The ripple effect is enormous. It's no longer just about late-night hosts. Streaming giants, podcasters, and even small creators are realizing they're one bad joke. Away from the same kind of backlash, the Kirk lawsuits are sending shockwaves across every corner of entertainment. Suddenly, comedy writers aren't asking, is this funny? They're asking, could this destroy us? And that shift changes everything. Comedy stops being an art form and starts being a legal gamble.
Obama got paraded out at the end of the election, and it didn't do any good. And guess what? Obama is getting paraded out now. It's like the bat signal. It's like, we got to get Obama. Let's go get him. And so they're reaching out to get him.
But here's the danger: force satire into a box and it doesn't disappear, it mutates. Already underground creators are rebranding themselves as the last fearless voices. Their comedy is harsher, angrier, and often more toxic. But because it feels real, audiences are eating it up. Instead of healing divides with laughter, comedy could soon deepen them with rage. What once brought people together at the end of the night might soon be driving them further apart.
Activists, Republican lawmakers, and even a doxing website are flagging the comments in what critics say is a campaign to punish them.
So the question stands, are we watching the end of an era? Some say yes. If these lawsuits succeed, the age of anything goes political comedy could be gone for good, replaced by sanitized monologues crafted to survive courtrooms, not connect with audiences. Would late night even survive in such a world, or are we just witnessing its natural collapse after years of pushing boundaries too far? Either way, one thing is undeniable: the ground has shifted. Comedy, as we knew it, may never come back.